here this morning with Helen Farnan, and I'd like to thank you, Helen, for giving up your time and sharing your story with me here today for our viewers and members of the Keep Fat Club. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to be where you are now, please?
Okay, afternoon. I started a couple of years ago gaining weight, decided to join Slimming World and lost a few stone, about 3 stone in total. I just didn't feel like Slimming World was for me, though. It was somewhere I just turned up, got weighed, went home, didn't stay for any meetings, didn't really feel comfortable there. Although it did work, I did feel like it was more of a diet. I felt like I wanted it to come to an end. It was a struggle to do it day in, day out. But I did get some results, so that was good enough for me. But then I sort of got into a health kick thing then when the weight came off. I went to the gym 6:30 every morning before work. I kept the weight off. I ate quite healthy. And then one night, actually, riding home from the gym, I got hit by a car and was on crutches for a while, couldn't exercise, couldn't go to the gym, didn't want to ride my bike ever again. So over the next 12 months, gained all the weight back and a bit more. So got to the point at the end of last year where it was lockdown had happened. I hadn't needed to go out. I hadn't really needed to wear anything nice. So I just got comfortable sitting at home in my elasticated waist clothes, not worrying about getting bigger because no one was going to see me. And that was that until my daughter announced she was getting married the following year. So I had a year to get the weight off. So I decided after Christmas, I'm going to start a diet. She's getting married in October, so I'll start after Christmas. I can lose enough weight by the wedding. But then I was sitting one night flicking through YouTube and came across your video. This was on the 1st of December, by the way. And I thought, why wait till after Christmas? I can start now. I can get a good chunk of that off before Christmas if I start today. So I started that day.
That was very, very brave of you to sort of give up your Christmas, if you like, and just say, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to have Christmas anymore. I'm just going to start.
That was it. Well, I thought if I start at the beginning of December, I could probably get a stone off by Christmas, and then I won't cheat over Christmas because I'll have lost that much weight. If I hadn't have done it, I probably would have gained that stone and a little bit more. If I'd have just thought after Christmas I'm going to have a big Christmas binge and then I'll start in January, I would have started probably a stone heavier again. So I thought I'll start today and then I'm a stone off. And I did lose over a stone before Christmas, and it made me stick to it over Christmas. I didn't cheat. I had a tiny little bit here and there on Christmas Day, but other than that I didn't have anything. So it made me stick to it because I saw that video on 1st of December. I started straight away that day on OMAD. I never thought, if I'm going all in, I'm going all in. I'm just going to have one meal a day from now on, and that's what I've stuck to ever since, for the past 2 months.
So you didn't ease yourself into it at all. And so
no.
How did you figure out, Helen, what to put on your plate? I mean, where did you get that information from?
I've done a bit of keto before. I knew that, it was low carbs, high protein, high fat, but I didn't really do it as strictly before. I ate 3 meals a day and I kept the carbs below 50 grams a day. It did work, like it came off slowly, but I was still thinking about food a lot. I wasn't, thinking, right, I'm having 1 meal a day and then not thinking about food. I was thinking, what am I going to have this meal? What am I going to have that meal? So I did sort of do it for a short time, but as soon as I lost it, I quickly put it back on doing it that way, and just ended up giving up. But I think with the group, it's helped me to stay focused and keep doing it because I've got something to check up on every day. I look on the page several times a day, see what people are doing, pick up bits of advice from people on there, and that sort of plans my week of what I'm going to do meal wise. I sort of plan all my meals so I know what I'm going to have each day. So I'm not thinking, like, when it gets to tea time, looking in the fridge, right, what am I going to have? It's always, I know that day what. It's in the slow cooker right now, actually.
Wow.
So it smells lovely in here. It's very garlicky.
Oh, I just love garlic. I love spices.
I do, me too.
So, just remind me, please, when did you actually join the Keep Fat Club? Can you remember? I mean,
yeah, it was the 1st of December when I saw the video that day.
So you joined the Keep Fat Club on that very same day.
Yeah.
And did you do anything that was different to the way that you were eating to what you'd done before in regard to keto? Did you change anything, or were you still doing exactly the same as you had done previously?
I think I was more strict. I changed the vegetables that I was eating. I cut out fruit completely. I cut out every sweetener, sugar. I only have ever drank black tea anyway, so that wasn't much of a thing. I'm not a dairy kind of person, so I've always drank black tea. So I just stuck to black tea and water. Sparkling water is now my best pal. And that's basically what I did. The protein part was easy because meat is meat. You can have meat whatever form, as long as it's not full of fat and processed. But other than that, I've just tried to vary my meals a little bit so I don't get bored of eating the same thing. Like you, I like spice, so I'll add a lot of spice to things. I don't have carbs at all, really, as in a form of carbs. I have, obviously carbs in things.
Yeah.
But I don't add any carbs to anything. So
that's really good. One of the things that I discovered, I don't know if it applies to you, on my weight loss journey, I was about 5 months into mine before I even came across keto. And I was losing weight, and then I saw somebody putting fat and cream and butter in the coffee, and I thought, I'll start it, because I wasn't eating any fat up to that stage. It was just low carb for me. Yeah. And then that stalled my weight. Did anything like that happen for you, or did you just not use fat at all? Or were you
not really. I've always been one of those people that trims fat anyway. So I trim fat off bacon. I don't eat this chicken skin. I cut the fat off meat, steak, and etc. like that, only because I don't really like it, and I've always done that. So I'm not doing it because I think I can't have it. I just don't want to have it. Obviously, I'm not really cooking in any fats. I don't really add fats to anything. The only fatty thing probably I have regular is cheese, but very small amounts of cheese compared to what I used to eat. I love cheese and crackers and all of that. So now I'll just have a chunk of cheese probably once a day, maybe once every other day. But other than that, I don't really add butter or oils or anything when I'm cooking. So very rare that I'm eating excess fat.
That's really, really good, because one of the things which is a fact that when you go into ketosis, the original ketogenic eating system was designed to put people into ketosis and to treat epilepsy, and then it became, if you like, a diet. It was never intended to be a diet. Yeah. And I've met so many people who try to follow the macros and count their calories. Don't take me there. And and then they come and they say, I'm stalled, I'm not losing any weight, this isn't working. And at the end of the day, I discovered, as a result of putting fat on my plate, that it stalled my weight loss. Yeah. But because you're obviously, you didn't mess about like I did at the beginning like that. So you're finding this works for you now. How much weight have you lost, please, since the 1st of December?
I've lost 32 pounds now since the 1st of December. So it is slowing down now. It's not coming off as quickly as it was in the first month, but it's always been coming down. It's never gone up. Some weeks it will stay the same, but as long as the scales keep going in the right direction, I'm quite happy. I don't feel deprived and I don't feel hungry. I don't really think about food until I'm going to eat in the evening now. I eat in the evening every night because then I don't feel like I'm going to pick or go to bed hungry, and that's when my other half is eating. So it's a good time for me. And I'm busy all day working, so the days fly and I don't even feel like I need to go and I get something to eat. So, and with lockdown, it's actually helped me a lot because I'm stuck in the house on my own. I don't feel tempted by other people doing, in work in the office with the cakes and the biscuits on the table, and it's taken all that away from me. So it's helped me being in lockdown, really.
That's really, really good. So what was the big light bulb moment for you? I mean, what sort of kept you going? Because lots of people start a diet or start an eating regime, and then after a while they get fed up and give up. What's kept you on track? What's kept you focused, please?
Well, I think I turned 50 last year, so that didn't help.
Congratulations.
And 50 in lockdown, it wasn't good. And then obviously with the wedding, my daughter said she was getting married. Then 6 months later, my son said he was getting married. And I was thinking, I don't want to look like this on the wedding photos. So I've got to do something about it. And I need to do something now, really. So that's what I did. And really, I think the group itself has kept me motivated. I think I probably would have given up a long time ago without the group, because I find that anytime I feel like I need a bit of support, I can just jump on there. Someone's always got some good advice. And obviously you get meal ideas from there, which is, good for me, because visually seeing what someone else is doing helps me to, understand it a little bit better. And posting my meals and having positive comments and things really works for me. And I think that's kept me on the club and on the actual diet. Well, I don't really like to call it a diet, but on the program kind of thing, it's kept me going because I'm being encouraged by people and I can encourage other people. So having that group has worked wonders for me.
And obviously you said that you're not just cooking for yourself, you're cooking for somebody else as well.
No, I'm not cooking for him.
Oh, right.
We eat together, but we don't eat the same unless it's something that he'll have. But I don't make anything specially for him and something different for me. If he wants what I'm having, he can have it, but otherwise he can look after himself. And he does that quite often now.
Yeah, it sounds like our house, actually, because my wife, Anne, she doesn't eat carbohydrates. But she never had to lose the weight. She lost 2 stone, as you have done, And you've done really, really well, He
doesn't need to lose anything. And if he ever puts on a couple of pounds, he goes for a run and it's off. So he's one of those lucky people, I guess. But I only have to hold hands while he's eating and I put on weight.
Oh, oh dear. I'm the same. I sort of, one time I could see food and I'd want it and I'd eat it. Whereas now I could just walk by it and say, no, it's not my time. I'm not hungry. I don't want to go back where I came from, So that's really, really important. So
I used to send him in another room to eat, but now it's fine. We can eat. He can eat what he wants in front of me. I don't feel like I'm missing out. So.
Have you got clothes now which don't fit you anymore that you're thinking, okay, I'm not going to be wearing that again?
I've got wardrobes and wardrobes of all different sizes. So this morning I thought, I've been wearing comfy clothes at home all the time. Don't need them to smarten up or look I just like to be comfortable. So I haven't really tried on anything. But this morning I thought, I'm going to put some jeans on. So I've actually put some jeans on thinking I'll fit in those jeans now, because when I tried them on a couple of months ago, couldn't even get the zip closed. So I put them on this morning and now they're too big. I've missed a size. So I'm going to have to go to the next size now. I've got plenty up there. I think I've got size 16, 14, 12s and 10s. So I've got the whole range.
Wow.
I'm going to go.
I would really encourage you, Helen, to try on some of the older clothes if it's possible, the smaller ones, and they show how they don't fit. Get some photographs taken, and then maybe in a couple of months or whatever, you can say, look, this was me and it didn't used to fit, but now it does,
I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a try-on session at the weekend, I think.
Oh, that's fabulous, that. So if there was one piece of advice that you would give to our members or anybody who thinks, I don't know if I could do OMAD, I don't know if I could cut this out, I've got to eat sugar, I've got to eat... what's been the hardest thing for you to do? Or,
The hardest thing for me has been, I think, maybe the social aspect of it, maybe, eating out and drinking, having a drink. I mean, I had a big social life, and I think that's why lockdown has helped me a bit, because I can't do those things. So I'm not having a glass of wine every night. I'm not having treats at all. So that's helped me. But I think to perseverance, the first week is hard. You will feel hungry. You will feel like it's not for you. But as soon as you see the results of like the following week, it sort of spurs you on to keep going. And I think the first week when I felt hungry, I was just like determined. I was like, I haven't joined this for nothing, and I can do it. The second week, it got so much easier. The hunger pains or hunger feelings went away. It got to the point where when it got to the evening, I was going to cook my meal, I couldn't be bothered. I wasn't really that hungry. So that week was the best week, great. And then the third week, I struggled a bit with acid and like reflux and things. But once the third week is over, I think it sort of plateaus and you feel it's just like a lifestyle then. You're thinking of just, you're going to eat once a day and that's all. It feels like the norm. So I think it's just perseverance. Once you start and you just keep going on the page, asking questions, picking up bits of advice, and just get yourself through that first few weeks. And then, like me, it should feel like a normal way then of eating. And I don't know once lockdown's over, if that's going to change for me, because when the restaurant's open, I suppose it's a little more difficult eating out, but it's doable, I guess. Protein and vegetables you can get wherever you go. So I'm just hoping that this is a good time for people to start while we're in lockdown, and then get your mind around it.
How have you worked out what your carbohydrates amount is? I mean, are you into counting your carbohydrates, or do you just look at it and say that seems about all right? And
the book that you recommended with everything in it, with all that one you're going to get. I got that, and that's a good guide to check in what's in everything. I've recommended a couple of people get that on the club because it's a good guide, and then you then just sort of get to know what carbs are in things. It's sort of like, because I'm eating the same vegetables and the same protein quite often, I know what's on my plate and kind of know what's in it. I don't work it out religiously and to the T. I sort of roundabout know what's on my plate now. Yeah.
So obviously, if a few carbs do go in, and it's very hard to eliminate unless you actually go, there's only two ways of doing it. One is to either have an empty plate, which means that you're fasting, so you don't eat all day, and maybe two few days. Yeah. Or it's just to put meat on your plate, so it's just total protein, no carbohydrates at all. And then when you start adding some vegetables on, is to find the ones, according to this book here, which are the lowest carbohydrate values. And things, I mean, salads are good. It's your dressings you've got to be careful of. Things like sweet corn, keep away from them. And, even putting avocado on, if that could stall your weight loss, if you were to sort of eat a lot of it, or put big chunks of cheese on it. But it's like everything else, you've got to figure out what works for you.
Yeah. And don't deprive yourself. I think if you feel deprived, you're less likely to stick at it. So if you want a bit of something, have it, but just do it in proportion to, whatever's on your plate. If you feel like you're cutting everything out, you won't stick to it, which is what I felt. I've ate really nice meals, I think. It's just different ways of doing it, cutting things out and replacing them with other things.
Yeah, I mean, instead of having rice, if you have a curry, you can make a curry with very, very few carbohydrates in it. I mean, okay, you may have some onions in it, or you may have some peppers in it or mushrooms, but it's if you get the jar of curry sauce, you are adding more carbohydrates to your meal. If you get the spices, like your ground cumin, ground coriander, things like that, you know, your turmeric and salt and peppers and your chilies, and then have cauliflower rice instead of having standard rice.
Yeah.
And as you say, if you're only having one meal a day, then you're not going to go overboard on the carbs. But if you were to put a big dollop of cheese on and then start putting butter or fat in your coffee or your tea, that fat can stall your weight loss, because instead of your body using its own body fat to make the ketones from, it then reverts to dietary fat and stalls your weight loss. So that's good. That's really good. So how far down your weight loss journey are you now, Helen? How far along?
I'm about halfway, I think. I wanted to lose 5 stone. I put the 5 stone mark on it, and I've just under 2.5 gone. So hopefully by the summer I'll hit that 5 stone, maybe a bit more. And then I'll look forward to maintaining with a little bit more fat in my diet, maybe.
Well, you don't look as if you have 5 stone to lose, if you don't mind me saying.
Well, I've lost 2.5, 2 and a bit of that, so I've got about another 2. I'm one of those people, I'm told to carry weight well, so no one ever thinks when I say what I weigh, no one ever thinks that I weigh that much. So it's just the way I carry it, I think. But yeah, another 2.5 to go, maybe.
How has that made you feel health-wise? Have you seen any sort of other benefits as well in terms of pains or joint aches or tiredness or the way that you're sleeping? Or, would you say that there's been anything else as a result of keeping your carbohydrate intake really low?
Less out of breath, like walking up the stairs was a little bit tiring before, where before I'd be running up the stairs, up and down, around the gym, riding my bike, walking everywhere. That 1 year of not doing that took its toll, and walking up the stairs, tying my shoes became an issue, little things like that. But aches and pains didn't really have any before, so it hasn't changed regarding aches and pains. I just feel a little bit lighter on my feet, feel like more energetic, and I can do like a lot more going for walks and things like that, where before I couldn't be bothered. Now I quite enjoy it. I do a couple of exercise classes on my TV with some weights, and I joined the online gym classes, so I do a couple of weightlifting classes just to tone up a bit, really. I think I'm just happier in myself. I didn't really feel like I was doing it for anyone else. It was just like for me, and like you, I had like lots of nice things to wear and couldn't get into anything and didn't feel like I needed to because I had nowhere to go. But now I feel like that I can wear the things that I like to wear. I can and make a bit of an effort. I really didn't feel like I needed to make an effort to even look nice before. So now I feel like I'm doing that just because I feel happier and more positive. So.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your story with us. So before we wind up, and I want to thank you so much for spending the time. What advice would you give to anybody who's joined the Keep Fat Club and they're starting out like you were in December, and maybe they've tried all the other different diets like Paleo and Cambridge, Slimming World, Atkins, Rosemary Conley, to name but a few? What advice would you give them, Helen, please?
Well, ask as many questions as you want. There's always someone that's got an answer. People are really friendly on the club, and no questions too daft. So you can ask anything really, and someone's always going to give you a reply. It might not be what you want to hear, like can I have this and can I have that? Probably no, you can't. But just keep asking questions. Jump on the page as often as you can, because there's people posting from all over the world at all different times of day. So you'll get, and there's always someone that's in the same boat as you. And we've all been there. We're all there for the same reason. So yeah, keep asking questions and keep looking on the page. If temptation sets in, just jump on and have a look what everyone else is doing, and it does stop you from going to the kitchen. But yeah, it does get easier. It starts off and you feel like it's not for you and you can't do it, but it does get a lot easier. Whether you're doing 2MAD or OMAD, it's like it feels like it's normal to me to just have one meal a day. So from when I started 2 months ago, it just feels like I'm doing this. This is what I do all the time. It doesn't feel like I'm waiting for it to end like I was on other diets. This just feels like I can do this for a long time. So, and you can eat really nice things. You know, you don't need to be eating salads and a chicken thigh every night. You can get really great ideas, and people post all the time on the club. So just have a look at the topics and get some ideas and plan. Write, like you say, write a journal, write your weight. Definitely.
I'm going to ask you about the journal. Have you found that works for you? Because that is advice I give to a lot of people. Some people, obviously, it's up to them what they do, but I think it's a good thing to do.
It does work. Helen? It does work for me. I think doing the journal and seeing what meals have worked on certain times for you is a good idea. Also, just like tracking measurements and things, because I think what I didn't do at the beginning was measure myself, and I think that I noticed the measurements are really lower now than, regardless of the weight. When I jump on the scales, even if the scales don't change, I feel that the inches have changed. So I would suggest to everyone, if they're starting today or they started like pretty recently, to take lots of measurements and journal those as well, because you will see a difference in your measurements even if you don't see it on the scales.
I just want to ask you one question. This might sound a strange question. I know that there are ladies out there who might have some issues, and we're not going to go down that road, but they wouldn't want to talk to a man about them. Would you say that, would you be happy for these people to drop you a message or a note and just ask you something?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a couple of ladies this week have private messaged me and asked a couple of things, or said they're inspired by my posts, and it's really helped them. So I'm grateful for that, and keep it up. And anything that they want to ask, fire away. If I can answer it, I will. If I can't, I'll send them in the direction of someone who can. Yeah.
Well, Helen, thank you so much for joining us. And
no problem.
Yeah, and I really, really appreciate your time. And I just want to remind our members and our viewers out there that if you've only just joined the Keep Fat Club, every Monday we have a support group meeting on Zoom every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. as well. And that's more so, well, it's for anybody really who's staffed enough like me to go at that time in the morning. But we have many members over in the Eastern and the Southern Hemisphere who haven't had the opportunity of joining us on the Monday afternoon Zoom support group meetings. Great for those in the States, although it's a bit early for them as well, maybe. But now we're opening up another meeting on Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. and the details are up on the screen now. So for the Zoom meeting number and the ID, it's all going to be there. But Helen, I just want to thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For spending time today and for all these encouragement in words that you've given to myself and to everybody else. It makes it feel worthwhile that what we're doing is helping people. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Tristan.
Thanks a lot. Bye now.
Bye.
So I've been keeping myself on mute because my dog's a bit loud today.
Oh, yeah.
Right on cue.
Yeah.
Eric, sure. I thought I'd join it. Hang on a minute. Back.
I just hope that you enjoy these small videos that we put together for you. If you do, then don't forget to join us on the Warrington Low Carbohydrate group on YouTube. Just ring the bell, just subscribe. And also, if you want to find out more about how we're fighting the war against losing weight and type 2 diabetes and other health issues, join us. Join us on the Keep Fat Club. So thanks a lot again for watching this video. Stay safe. Bye now.